Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Salute to Industry. I love this audience. This is Oracle. For those of you guys who don't know, I've actually found people this week who don't know who Oracle is. So let's lift the rock up from where they live and shine a light on Oracle. We've got David Cross, and I love Marine Corps. We're 3 Marine Corps and 1 Navy here. Stacy, and again, sorry, Pesh, right? I hope I said it right. Pesh. Yes, great. Okay. And of course, my co-host, Alex O'Neill. Stacy, quick intro about yourself. We'll jump to David and we'll jump into some questions from there, okay?
Great. Hi, everyone. Thanks for allowing us to be here with you. My name is Stacy Pesh. I'm currently a senior talent advisor with Oracle. I spent 10 years on active duty as a Marine Corps officer before I joined Oracle in 2015. I am also a military spouse. My husband also works for Oracle and is currently serving as a Marine Corps reservist. Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to meet you.
So I'm David Cross. I'm a Senior Vice President and CISO, Chief Information Security Officer for Oracle SaaS Cloud here at Oracle. I've been here a few years. I left the military service about 25 years ago. I was 5 years active duty in the United States Navy and 3 years Army Reserve. And one thing I would like to correct is that the Marine Corps is part of the Department of the Navy.
Spoken like a true Navy person. We love you guys, though, too. This is the friendly banter that always happens across our lifetimes, right? Between the Marine Corps and the Navy. So always some fun banter. But let's dive in. I mean, Oracle, massive company, Fortune 500 business, 175 countries. You're hiring for 6,000 jobs right now across the world. How do we unpack that? I mean, let's jump in real quick and talk about what you're doing inside the military veteran space. This might be better suited for David a little bit, and then Stacy will circle back and talk about jobs specifically a little bit and career pathways. But talk to us, David, kind of like we were just a few minutes ago about hiring military and veterans and what you guys are looking for there.
Well, absolutely. So I definitely want to call out, that Oracle is very committed to diversity, right, which includes both military and military spouses. And this is something that's supported from very top, and that's important. Myself, I'm very honored in that being a executive sponsor for the company, in what we call our MAVEN, our Military and Veteran Employee Network. And this is very important in us in that because we've been able to learn a lot in taking advantage and help our community in that veterans through many programs, our internship program and our training programs, in bringing talent in, especially in the cloud. Is that cloud is moves very fast, is very agile. We have very strong playbooks. And this is where the integrity, the honesty, the attributes of veterans come into play and makes a massive win-win, I think, for the community and for Oracle.
Well, we'll jump over here to Stacy real quick as the second part of that in more detail. I mean, you've got the cloud infrastructure that David's talking about. You've got the National Security Group. You've got Sweet Vet. You've got the Veteran Internship Program. You got the Vet Tech Academy. Again, we're trying to pack this into 15 minutes. Where do we start with that? Tell us about what you're doing with VetJobs and your work with Melanie Grantham, and kind of a little bit about things that you're focusing on right now and trying to achieve with it.
Sure. So one of the things we always like to emphasize is that even though we are a technology company, we still have so many roles and opportunities that are targeted at candidates who have backgrounds in other functions, business related, human resources, finance, logistics, supply chain. It really is the whole spectrum of roles, not just technology roles. So a lot of our open opportunities that are focused on the military community have entry point pathways associated with them. So not entry level necessarily, but entry point, where they can pivot outside of the tech industry into the tech industry, utilizing one of our programs.
And that's a big push with us at VetJobs. We're doubling down in the cybersecurity space, the IT space. I mean, we all know from being in the industry, there's millions of jobs out there. I mean, it's one of the biggest growth industries right now. I mean, it's got blockchain moving in right now. I mean, this is a huge sector that's just going to keep bubbling up, and that kind of splinters into both of what you guys do there at the company. Question for you both personally, real quick. Let's touch on, why do you like working at Oracle? What is it like for you from a culture standpoint, and why do you love doing what you do there? Stacey, we'll start with you. David. Ladies first.
Yes.
Sure. Two things stand out to me, Don, about my love of working for Oracle and being part of the team. First is collaboration. So, much like the military is very hierarchical, Oracle also does still have a structure. However, every person who's a part of our team has the ability to be able to exercise their own judgment, operate with autonomy. We're a business mature organization, so there's not someone looking over your shoulder, and there's so much teamwork and collaboration amongst all members of our team. And the second thing that I love is the opportunity for growth. So at every turn, there's the ability to learn something new, get certified in something new, and our entire management team from top to bottom is very promotive of all employees exploring other opportunities within the organization.
David, we'll hop over to you next, and then follow up with Alex. She'll have a question with you guys too. What do you think?
Absolutely, I definitely like to echo some of the themes that Stacey calls out. It's certainly, one is certainly Oracle. It's really heavily invested in the cloud and growing quickly, and that's opportunity. That's the future, I think, of computing, and being part of that is very exciting for everybody. The second thing is it's really about an inclusive culture. It's actually, I've worked at many companies in the past, and Oracle is actually very inclusive, right? And that is really a highlight, I think, for everyone across all of our different, resource groups, everything from the Alliance of Black Leaders, to the Oracle Pride Employee Network, the Women's Leadership. There's many, and that's a real highlight. A third thing I would say is you have a lot of independence, right? In some ways, it may be a very large company, as you call out, but you have a lot of independence and autonomy to operate in your business and take it new directions and grow with it. And that's very, very exciting. And last but not least is I also agree with Stacey about the training, is that the Oracle University and other things is amazing as how much you can learn. And the hardest challenge sometimes is picking which one you want to take next. And this is something I'm heavily invested in and support myself.
So you guys both kind of touched on my next question, which was, being an Oracle employee, what can someone really expect as far as the training and development goes? If you want to just touch on that a little bit more. Whoever feels like they want to answer it, whichever one you pick.
Go for it, David.
Okay. Certainly, I think there's a lot of things. Oracle has a number of ones. Certainly, our Oracle University is really, really broad in capabilities in both. I think everything from myself is that even though I have a lot of computing experience, I never had experience with Java, right? So I could go exactly where I have a gap, and that's one. I think that Oracle University is a highlight, right? The other things is that I think is I'm not the expert on, but the Vet Tech Academy, right, is really how to help service members, veterans, spouses, right, into really getting into these IT specific roles, and that is really, really exciting, right, and opportunities to learn certifications, and that's some big ones. And I almost find it impossible. You have so many choices, but we have also great mentors and senior leaders to help people to find that path. And that's where something like the veteran community, the Maven community, helps enormously. That people can come in and they have a huge community available to them to say, where should I go next? What path should I take? And that is one of the exciting things about this company.
Well, that's very unique, and we don't see that often. We see it with a couple other big companies out there. I mean, IBM does something very similar, but I think that's very important to highlight again to our audience and the people that are watching. Is you're talking about the entry point, get the entry point in, develop the skills, the culture, leverage the mentorships, the academies, the internal, what do you call it, self-improvement, because it's not necessarily certifications, and soft skill development. So all of that's available inside once you're in the door to somebody to move up, and basically you're developing a career path. So it's not just saying, hey, I got a job and I work at Oracle. It's, okay, where can I go inside of Oracle, inside of this massive behemoth of a company? So it's great to hear that you guys really push the mentorship, the training piece, and specifically, David, that you focus on the mentorship piece in the Veteran Academy. So, but sorry, Alex, we'll roll into your next question. I know I wanted to highlight that one more time.
Yeah, definitely. Stacy, this one could be for you. You know, since you are a veteran and now a military spouse, talk to us a little bit about what you guys offer for military spouses.
Yeah, great question. So we're really fortunate to be supported by our entire leadership team to have any initiative, any hiring initiative out there for veterans is also available to military spouses. So each and every candidate that comes through that's affiliated with the military community is treated with that same level of, we want you on our team. So very excited that all of those initiatives are open to military spouses. And those can be found. We do have those all consolidated onto one externally facing landing page. So if you visit our site, www.oracle.com/veterans, that's where you can find all of those opportunities.
Absolutely, and we'll plug that in the links when we put it out in the social post. I'm not quick with my typing skills right here. I'd have it on the banner ad, but I wanted to pick apart real quick, Stacey, and kind of dive into that a little bit deeper because we focus on employment and job placement. I know with Melanie Grantham, NetSuite's a big focus right now. Can you talk a little bit more about the NetSuite opportunity and kind of what you're looking for there and how we can move people in that direction or educate them about the opportunity?
Sure. There's actually two hiring initiatives that are associated with NetSuite right now. They sit on either side of a sales cycle. So there's opportunities in pre-sales and there's opportunities in post-sales, which in the industry is also known as implementation. But by and large, if someone has experience in supply chain, logistics, financials, or accounting, those are business functions associated with enterprise resource planning, ERP software. Those experiences and credentials are very, very valuable to our team because it means that ultimately you're able to relate to a customer who lives and works in those functions day in and day out.
Yeah, that's important to know because I wanted to highlight and focus a little bit on the marketing piece when we push this out to our audiences. Really kind of drive that awareness because that's important to Melanie Grantham and yourself and really trying to focus in. It's hard when you got so many jobs that you're trying to fill. It's like a fire hose, right? So I wanted to pin that one down and we'll focus on that in the marketing a little bit. Before we wrap here shortly, I wanted to applaud you both for coming on here, Juan, and sharing with us. Any last thoughts? I know there's so much to think about, but our audience is transitioning service members, the veterans that are out there thinking to pivot into this space, military spouses seeking a career path or trying to find their path forward. How would you say is the best way? We get your internship, you got the academy piece, you talk about these entry points to get in. Where does one start with that?
I always like to
take it.
Yeah, I can resist. I jump on this one. I always like to say is like just what we learn in the military is that when you need help, you call out for help, right? And the community is there. And the most important thing is you reach out. There's many things, everything from LinkedIn to our website, our career site. Reach out because we are very interested. We're here to help, and we want to be part of a unit together. And I think that's a starting point for everybody. And we want to be part of that joint community.
And so we'll include Stacy in this correspondence. We'll include Melanie in this correspondence as this goes out to the audiences. And obviously, I think you guys have a great working relationship where Melanie will kind of pre-screen people and make sure that the ones that we're sending over to you guys, are meeting specific qualifications. And so if anybody's really to look to get involved, you should be contacting Melanie Grantham here at Military Spouse In-House. She's in tune with Stacy and her work at Oracle and what they're looking for and really can walk you through those paces before we start steering people in that direction. And to David and Stacy, just to be respectful of your time and just how we built a relationship over time as well. But that's a great lead in. Any last parting thoughts? I know there's a lot that we've covered. It's down and dirty. It's real quick, but any last parting thoughts before we sign off here? And we both thank you again for coming on.
I guess the last thing I say is that, hey, we are a very inclusive organization, and the veteran community, the spouse community, right, is a very open community, and we respect and welcome everyone, and that's what makes us stronger as a company and as a community.
All right, thanks so much for joining us for another edition of Salute to Industry.
Absolutely. And to register for services and learn more about other employment opportunities, visit us on the web at vetjobs.org/jobs for veterans. Take care, everybody.